Joining Ed is Democratic strategist and CBS News contributor Joel Payne. Gentlemen, good morning to you. Joel, I could have a big, long, smart-sounding question here, but I'll just say Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama could probably the only person that could actually make Barack Obama seem like the second act last night. And he was great, but she was phenomenal. It was a virtuoso performance. She used her life experience. She used the recent passing of her mother to talk about the moment. And I think the thing that was so effective is this was not just a political decision for Barack and Michelle Obama. This was a cultural moment. I talked with John Dickerson about this last night. You want to wed people's vote to culture. She figured out how to do that, and in a way that was relatable and that is memorable for everyone who was in this venue last night.
There were so many quotable lines. Are there one or two that stood out to you that you think we're going to be quoting for generations here?
Well, I think that 1.5-minute riff where she was describing Donald Trump, but she didn't actually use his name. She talked about his actions and what he did, and she related the Donald Trump story to the American people in a way that said, does this sound like something you could do? I thought that was so effective.
Yeah.
And it is the best of Michelle Obama we saw last night.
Yeah.
That line about the affirmative action of generational wealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That line got most of the room up so fast because they knew exactly what she was saying.
Well, these folks are so good at being plain spoken. Yeah. Barack and Michelle Obama have really become the narrators of the Democratic experience. Yeah. And a plain spoken narrator, not high and over the top. It was something else.
Yeah. Our Gayle King back in New York has got a question for you as well, Joel. Gayle, take it away.
Yeah, so I was curious, Joel, about Michelle Obama in particular, because she's very reluctant, as you know, to be on stage. She's very reluctant to even say Donald Trump's name, which she did yesterday. And I think that she always seems to transcend politics. The fact that, in my opinion, she was making the case that the stakes seem very high for the Democratic Party. And both of them made this point. As good as this is, the energy was infectious. I mean, literally, people got out of their beds and were cheering last night. I got so many phone calls about it. They still said this is an uphill battle. Do you think that point was made last night from both of them?
Well, Gayle, the thing is that the experience is so personal for the Obamas because what Kamala Harris is trying to do, the audacious thing she's trying to do, it's what Barack and Michelle Obama did. And it impacted their family. And I think she was trying to tell how that experience of going through that for them 16 years ago really drew a straight line to what Kamala Harris and her family are dealing with. So I think it was personal for her, and I think that's why she spoke. She talked about the grief of losing her mother recently and why she felt like despite that she needed to be here. It was so inspiring, Gayle. You're right. I got so many calls. I was sitting with a former Obama administration official who just talked about how, if Michelle Obama doesn't want people to stop asking her about running for president, she should stop giving speeches like that. She was phenomenal.
Ed, let's look ahead to tonight. Tim Walz, the guy in the flannel shirts, his own. They've been through some things, as Obama said.
Look, he has to introduce himself to this country. Well known in Minnesota, obviously. Democrats starting to get to know him. Expect a lot of conversation about his Nebraska upbringing, his geography teaching background, the work he's done in Congress as a bipartisan deal maker, but then also in more recent years to enact Democratic priorities like gun control and abortion rights in his state. This is often the night where you could also see the running mate maybe level some attacks of his own on Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And it's those kinds of attacks that he was making in the beauty contest between Joe Biden running or dropping out and Kamala Harris making a choice that suddenly propelled him to the top. So let's see if he delivers any of those tonight.
We'll be watching it. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Gayle, as I send it back to you in New York, I will give you fair warning. I know you're going to be getting on a plane, joining us here at the United Center in Chicago. If you think our studio is cold, it is very chilly in here. We're fortunate that the speakers have been bringing the heat, but you should bring a sweater as well.
I heard. I pulled out my parka. I can't wait to get off the air and get on a plane. I'm so excited to come. Tony, I'll see you soon.